In this video, we're going to talk about the top 5 mistakes made by applicants who are applying for the self-petition based on the national interest waiver. I can't tell you enough how many people who are trying to get this green card without an employer, making so many mistakes, making so many assumptions. So in this video, I'm going to talk about those 5 top mistakes and assumptions that every applicant before they apply for the national interest waiver are making, and hopefully once you learn those 5 mistakes, you're not going to make them and will apply for this green card safely and with confidence. So what are you waiting for? I'll see you on the other side. Welcome back to our immigration channel. This is a place where you get the most up-to-date immigration news, immigration information, and everything else that you need to make your immigration journey less stressful. My name is Jacob Sapochnik, and I'm an immigration attorney located in San Diego, California, and I help clients in all 50 states and all over the world to get their green cards and make their dream of coming to the United States a reality. This video, we're going to talk about the top 5 mistakes and misconceptions that people have when they try to apply for the green card based on the national interest waiver. This is a self-petition green card that does not require an employer. We've done quite a few videos on that category. We can link a few of them in the description of this video as well. But in this video, I'm going to talk about these misconceptions, these mistakes that people make, and hopefully if you watch this, it will encourage you to apply for this category if you feel that you're qualified. Before we jump into those 5 mistakes and misconceptions, let me explain to you briefly what is this national interest waiver based on the EB2 category, and why is this category so interesting and exciting to so many people. Normally when you apply for a green card in the employment-based category, you need an employer to give you a job offer and a sponsorship. Typically, it's a lengthy process, it's a complex process that requires the employer to file a labor certification with the Labor Department as step number 1 to show the government that there are no U.S. citizens that are qualified or available to do this job. And once the labor certification is approved, only then you can file the request with the U.S. Immigration. And remember, it's still dependent on your employer. If you lose the job, if the employer decides to stop this process, you lose your green card. On the other hand, the national interest waiver is a self-petition. It allows an applicant to apply for a green card based on their accomplishments, their achievements, and their future endeavors in the United States. It's a very new category, and the beautiful thing about this category is that since December of 2016, a new case law came about and changed this category, made it more broad and available to more people, not just scientists, not just doctors like in the past. The case of Danasar expanded the category of national interest waiver to open the door to more qualified people to apply. Case law essentially focuses on 3 main points. Number 1, the foreign national's proposed endeavor is of substantial merit and national importance. Number 2, the foreign national is well positioned to advance the work. And number 3, on balance, it would be beneficial to waive the requirements of a labor certification, essentially giving the government a lot of discretion to approve those cases. So what are some of the mistakes that people make when applying or considering to apply for an EB2 national interest waiver green card as a self-petition? Number 1, if I don't have an advanced degree, I don't qualify. This is probably the number 1 misconception and mistake that people make before applying for the national interest waiver, before even considering to apply. The reality is that if you have a bachelor degree and at least 5 years of progressive experience, show that you've advanced, you've taken some management positions or some significant role, 5 years of experience plus a bachelor degree could also be used to qualify somebody for a national interest waiver if you have all the other requirements as well, which I'm going to talk about in a second. If you don't have a degree at all, you can still qualify if you can show that you have exceptional ability. And that can be in any field. In business, if you apply an entrepreneur, as an artist, a performer, whatever that is, if you don't have a degree, exceptional ability could also qualify. Number 2, the burden of proof is all on you. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that the burden to prove that you meet the requirements of the EB2 national interest waiver, that you qualify to waive the requirements of the labor certification, is all on you. It depends on how good your evidence is. It depends on how many of the 10 prongs you were able to hit. It depends on how your case is packaged and prepared. The burden is on you. Every case will be adjudicated on the merits. So they're not going to compare one person to another, even if you come from the same country, even if you have on the paper the same qualification, the same kind of resume. Every case is different and will be adjudicated on its own merits. So if somebody else didn't get it, it doesn't mean that you're not going to get it. Maybe their case wasn't prepared correctly. Maybe they were missing some of the requirements. Maybe they didn't present the case properly to the USCIS. Every case is different. One of the biggest misconceptions that people have is that they fail to understand that even if somebody else with a similar background failed, it doesn't mean that they're going to fail as well. So remember, it all depends on how you put the case together. So have some faith and work with somebody who understands how the national interest waiver works to be able to win your case as well. Number 3, if you don't have any publications or citations, your case will fail. Another misconception, people think that if they don't have citations or mentioned in Google Scholar or have any articles or publications about them, their case will fail. This is not true. It was maybe true before the case of Danasar came about, when we were doing a lot of national interest waiver for doctors, physicians, scientists. Their bulk of evidence was citations, publications, and mentions. But right now, with the new requirements, it's not necessary. Of course, it helps if you have it. We're obviously going to use it. But if you don't have it, we're going to focus on other things. We're going to focus on your achievements. We're going to focus on what is that you're going to be doing when you're going to come to the United States. The importance of a business plan, describing your qualifications, describing your plans, and your execution method are essential to the approval of national interest waiver at the moment. Because yes, publications are important. Yes, some officers are looking at them, but they're not the only thing that they're looking for. So if on balance you can amplify other things, like your proposed plans, maybe you had a high salary in the past, maybe you are going to do something amazing in the United States with a new project, maybe your memberships in these organizations that you've been part of, all these other things could come and overshadow the requirements for publications and citations. Of course, some people can get more publications while they're working on those new projects. We can always add them, but if they didn't have them in the past, it's not a barrier to winning your national interest waiver case. Number 4, if I'm too young, I'm not going to qualify for the national interest waiver. This is again another misconception. While some requirements suggest 10 years of experience to qualify for the EB2 category, because the national interest waiver, this on itself is not a barrier to apply for a national interest waiver. If you can demonstrate exceptional ability, even if you're a young person, let's say you started a company, you have an idea, you have a patent, you're already doing something amazing in your space before coming to the United States, those things can overcome the requirement of 10 years experience or you being too young. We have recently won an approval for a 23-year-old who was working on an amazing startup to fight obesity. The fact that he had this idea, the fact that he's already working on it, the fact that he's impacting so many people already helped us qualify him for the national interest waiver without 10 years experience, without even a degree. This person was not even able to finish his education because he was so young. He was able to drop out of school and focus on working on his big idea and building his company. We used other factors to qualify him to show his exceptional ability, and he was able to get his national interest waiver successfully. So don't be discouraged. Even if you're too young, even if you don't have the experience, you may still qualify. Number 5, getting bad advice from lawyers that have no idea how to process national interest waiver. I can't tell you how many cases I get where people come to me for second opinion from other attorneys who tell them that they don't qualify, they don't meet the requirements, and when I look at their resume, when I look at their achievements, I tell them the decision to eventually approve your case is with the immigration officer. They have a discretion. Unlike any other application, national interest waiver cases are adjudicated based on discretion. So even if you don't meet the requirements 100%, but you do meet a lot of the requirements, you do have a strong foundation of your case, and you can show that your endeavor is in the national interest, you may still qualify and your case may still be approved because they do have discretion to approve your application. So remember, getting discouraged by people who are not experts in the space is one of the biggest mistakes I see applicants do. Also, sometimes on the flip side, the applicants who are overconfident, they come to me, they have all the documents, they say, yes, I qualify, I meet all the requirements, and I tell them, listen, we still need to change your case to meet the requirements. We still have to present it in the way that we know will get you approved, because remember, the USCIS will make their decision solely based on discretion. So hopefully you found this information beneficial and you will not make these mistakes as well. If you're looking to apply for the national interest waiver, this is the amazing opportunity for somebody to get a green card based on a self-petition. If you think you qualify, I encourage you to send me a text, 619-483-4549, and let's get in touch and see if we can qualify you and get you a green card based on a self-petition as well. Once again, if you're here for the first time, make sure to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos, and also give us a big like so YouTube will be able to show this video to more people just like you.